Hi everybody, good afternoon. Thank you for stopping by my channel again. Today I have some good news. I am going to be reviewing Heartless by Marissa Meyer for you guys. I've been seeing a lot of good reviews on this book and I could not be more excited to have read it this past week. It didn't take me too long, it just took me a little while to make this video because of personal circumstances. However, I am making that video today and I have quite a few things to review with you guys. I'm gonna try and not spoil it. Again, if I do spoil something, I will be sure to put a disclaimer for you guys that don't want to spoil anything for yourselves. I know some people don't care, but some people do, so I gotta put that out there. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it as always. So, Heartless by Marissa Myers is basically a prequel to the series Alice in Wonderland, and the main plot is talking about the main character, Catherine, who had become the Queen of Hearts, or was supposed to become the Red Queen. Now, with that being said, she just doesn't become it right off the bat. There's a lot of build up in between. I'm just going to go off and say Marissa Myers has amazing world building. I can applaud her for that. Fantastic character relationships, interactions. I lived for like all of the interactions, except save a few, but I'll get into that later with Catherine, her being the main character and everything. Realistic standards of young women during that time. I thought that was a really important piece because apparently in the old Alice in Wonderland, the same standards for women was a little bit more oppressive and the standards were a little bit more strict. Like women couldn't just go out and do whatever they want. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Magical and tragic scenes from just first act in the first couple of chapters to the last couple of acts. I loved it. I loved everything in between this. In fact, I had to reread this book again and my friends are asking like, why are you rereading this book? I'm like, it's so good. It's, for me, it's a first introduction novel into Alice in Wonderland series. I have the original Lewis Carroll Alice in Wonderland saved on my phone right now. Thinking like book read or something like that, but it's on my phone. I have yet to read it, and I think this is a good start, even though it's more from like the villainous point of view. Or maybe not villainous yet, but you know. So again, the plot is with Catherine becoming the Red Queen. Everything that she goes through just shows how she became heartless. And that I think starts off with her parents just offering her hand in marriage to the king. The king more so kind of demands her hand. And from the sounds of it, he's like, they said he was like 15 years her sovereign, which means she was like, what, 19? He was like 40 something. So I'm going to go back to the character relationships and interactions. Catherine is best friends with her maid, Mary Ann, and they have this wonderful dream together that they one day will have a business and they're gonna be bakers, and they're gonna be the best bakers in all of Hearts, and nobody can stop them. So they actually go out and prepare plans for their business. Obviously, she explains, hey, we've been talking about this for years. They start kind of getting a little hopeless, and they're like, I don't know if we can, do this. It starts becoming harder and harder once the king begins to court Catherine. Along with that, she also has a love interest for lovely Jess. It's just complicated because she explains that, like, Jess is a court joker. He can't really court her because like the social hierarchy during that time, like, hey, if the king asks for your hand, you're gonna have to take it. You don't got time to be like a business runner. That's for men. Guys, Kat's parents annoyed me to no end. I was like, just let this woman be. Let her go and chase her dreams, chase her love life. I was rooting for Kat so hard, y'all. You understand. I know you understand. But her parents were just driving me up a wall. I was like, just let her do something she loves. Instead of just doing what she loves in like the kitchen, let her build. But again, it goes back to the standard for women back during that time. Who says no to the king, right? And I think that had a lot of impact on why she became the way she did in the end, amongst other things. I'm getting there, I promise. But I was like, guys, come on. Like, I was rooting for her so hard. And her and Jess' interaction were so lovely. Even if they didn't have a lot of time together, the time that they did have together was so precious. I was like, I just hope. One can only hope, right? But then she meets the Mad Hatter and his crew, and she goes to like her first official tea party. It's fantastic. That goes back into that magical moment, one of those magical moments that she experiences. And again, I mentioned just first act. That first act was just impactful because Jess just came. He was so leisurely. He was just so confident in his trade, his ability. And he's like, hey guys, I'm here and I'm the court joker and this is what I got for you. It was beautiful. It was so well written. I'm like, dang, now I understand why everybody loved him. And Kath was so sweet. And he even mentions that he just saw some of the things that she was doing. Like, the attention to detail was just fantastic. So next I will talk about some of the more tragic scenes. Spoiler alert. Go ahead and take that time to pause my video or log out of it for now. I'm gonna talk about some of the more tragic parts. The lion at the tea party does die because the Jabberwocky ends up coming back again. You know, he made his appearance in the first scene with Jess and like the first party where the king proposed and everything, and she ran out and she was like, no, I'm not getting married just yet. I have dreams and ambitions. Well, the Jabberwocky came back full force and he actually took one of the tea party members. And he almost took the turtle. I don't know. The turtle's kind of like a character. A sweet character, that is. So he comes back in later on. More things tend to happen. The Jabberwocky just keeps making an appearance. Now that Kath is fully courting the king, he takes her to like a theater. And she has to fight off the Jabberwocky with the sword, the Vorpal sword, where she pulls out of Jess' hat. So that means that she was destined to be queen this whole time. She had royal blood in her this whole time. And she was the only one that was able to summon that sword, which is really important because then later on it is revealed that she is supposed to be the monarch. And by none other than, you guys guessed it, the three sisters. And the three sisters of the well are probably some of the more tragic characters because apparently they are dying and they always ask for payment for them to live a little bit longer. Now, with that being said, this is more toward the end of the book, obviously. Jess, Kath, and the Hatter are kind of waiting to go to chess. They are revealed their fates. Their fates are Monarch, Mad, Murder, and Martyr. Sorry, I almost forgot what the fourth one was. I'm like, there's four. I'm always seeing four. Always reading about four of them. And I think at that point I realized what may happen. I wasn't totally sold on the fact that it was going to happen, but you know, people say you can't change fate. And I was like, no, that can't be. That can't be. No. They're about to have their happily ever after. Everyone's gonna be all happy. She's gonna have her bakery. She's gonna have the love of her life by her side. No, that can't happen. I was in denial, okay? I was definitely in denial. So then they are at the crossroads, and the only thing that they were instructed to do was to not go through any of the doors, otherwise their fate would be sealed. Okay? That's important. That is so important. This whole story could have went completely different if Catherine would have just listened. But, however, she heard her friend, Mary Ann, scream through one of the doors, and she found out that Peter was going to feed her to his wife, also known as the Jabberwocky. And she was like, I can't just let her die. I have to go and save her. I want you guys to stay right here and I will be right back. But the Hatter was like, if you go through those doors, the fate is sealed. There's no going back and there's no way you can come back here. Do you think this woman listened? Absolutely not. She did not listen. Even after her friend like betrayed her, but I guess I can understand, you know, Marianne was part of her life for the longest time, and she's like, how am I gonna live with myself if she dies? So, the worst unravels. She goes through the door, Jest, being the wonderful person he is, follows her, and then Hatter follows him through that door, and their fate is sealed because they did not listen. Because all of them loved one another. So Catherine ended up saving Marianne. Somebody slayed the Jabberwocky. I think it was her. But the Jabberwocky, since it was Peter's wife, he automatically took vengeance. I think he slayed a Jabberwocky. You guys can correct me in the comments. I'm so sorry. And then he ended up beheading Jest. This part of the story is where I needed to close the book and walk away and have a moment of silence because I could not believe that that is how the story had ended with him. I'm like, how did he died? All because Catherine didn't listen? They were forewarned like a chapter or so ahead. Like, there's no way. What do you do? I went back and reread it, and she was like, I can't handle having this heart anymore. Of course I'm gonna end up just giving it away. Even though she technically gave it away to Jest. But she's like, my heart hurts so much. She was grieving so hard. Even when she went to go and talk to Hatter, he was grieving as well. And they were just saying awful things to each other. They were in such a bad place because he was like, you're not the only one that loved him. I did as well. And I think it was like he didn't get to tell him. Which brings me to believe that maybe he knew him for a long time. He knew Jess for a long time. So the way this story ended, I was like, this is so tragic. I am so sad. My heart hurts now. Thank you very much, Mr. Meyer. You're amazing. But ouch. Beautiful work. I know I skipped some stuff over, but I just wanted to get to a couple of important points. And that was definitely one of them. But I also want to give a good shout out to the beautiful community of the fanfic writers for recreating that last scene for us folk that are still heartbroken and grieving over it. Thank you so much. I had to go back and see, like, is there other stuff that people write? Like, maybe, oh, whoops, maybe it didn't happen, but it helps. And I think it's really fun to go back and just, if you want to, you can rewrite some of the stuff as like fanfic or whatnot. But with that being said, I personally don't write any fanfic. I haven't for a long time. I don't think I'm very good at it, but I do artwork. I post on DeviantArt as much as I can. I did do artwork for Heartless with Jess and Kath. If you guys want to go and check that out. I'm on Instagram, on DeviantArt. I'll link those down below. I'm also on TikTok. If you guys want to go and hit me up there. If you want to talk about Heartless a little bit more, go ahead and comment or just hit me up on my other social media. I'd be more than happy to talk with you guys about it. And I think my next review is also going to be on how the King of Elfane learned to hate stories. This was fun to read. I really enjoyed this, but I'm going to save that for my next video, and I will see you guys next time. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you like my videos. You want to give me feedback, go ahead and give me a shout out. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you like this video. Thank you.